Probably the best thing that happened to Dallas in the last few years. I want to see Dak Prescott remain on this team.
I swear to God, I'll shoot myself. The first topic we're gonna go on to mine and Dean's sadness.
Yeah.
It's not good to see the Cowboys win in the slightest. We need a moment of silence for her.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mr. McCarthy will not be returning as the Dallas head coach. For all intents and purposes, that's probably the best thing that happened to Dallas in the last few years. The only good news for us other NFC East fans is that Jerry Jones is still alive and breathing. So, regardless of who they bring in, which, if you want to get into Derek, who is their top contender?
I correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they're setting an interview for Deion Sanders.
They are, which is a very intriguing option.
I swear to God, I'll shoot myself. I'll fucking
I've
shoot
seen
myself.
I've seen a lot of different reports that Dion and the Cowboys have mutual interest. You know, Dion is a longtime Cowboy lover. He did play for them. Him and Jerry Jones get along very well. There's been rumors swirling that if and when he signs with the Cowboys,
Cowboys are training up.
they would they would make some trades to go get his son Shador, which would be absolutely bonkers. I wouldn't put it past Jerry Jones because that is a sick thing that he would do. I think honestly that would be best case scenario for the Cowboys, and that would make me very depresso
Me too. I would go into a
because
little hole.
because I want to see Dak Prescott remain on this team
Me too.
because he is probably in the top half of the league in quarterbacks. But that being said, he's extremely mediocre and won't be taking them to a Super Bowl anytime soon. So if they do trade up in the draft to get a Shador Sanders, they would have to obviously offload Dak's contract and offload him off of the roster because they would never keep a $40 million quarterback on their bench. So there is rumored trades to be going, trade partners here and there. One could be the Jets, one could be the Raiders. All very interesting points, but yeah,
Uh,
Dallas Cowboys opened up in the head coaching business.
which makes me so upset. Like, why couldn't it just be one more year? One more fucking year. There's another person who's in talks. Well, a lot of Cowboys fans want him. Is Jason Witten? They want Jason Witten as their head coach, which I could actually see. He just won a high school championship. He's beloved by the Cowboys,
Yes.
and he's been out of the NFL for a long time. But I would not be surprised if Jerry Jones calls him up and says, "Hey, would you like to coach for the Dallas Cowboys this upcoming year?"
Yeah, the Cowboys are the one of the teams that are in the head coaching carousel that actually got to it a little bit late because they were in a negotiation window with McCarthy that never worked out, that never transpired. So a lot of the other teams that were looking for head coaches already are on second interviews with head coaches. Not to mention, you can argue New England already took the best head coaching position off the market when they hired Vrabel.
Yeah.
So Dallas is definitely behind the eight ball. They're going to have to get creative when it comes to the coaching market because they're not going to get some of the high top tier guys, such as Glenn from Detroit. They're probably not going to be able to get him at this point because he's already having second interviews with the Jets, with the Raiders, with a bunch of other teams. So
Would you say, in your opinion, if you're Deion Sanders, are you leaving?
I think if anybody listened to the Monday night broadcast, Troy Aikman had a great segment saying that yes, the Cowboys' job is one of the most coveted in all of the NFL, right? It's America's team, have a great history of Super Bowls, but they've sucked not sucked, I shouldn't say it, but they haven't won anything in the last 25 years, right? But his explanation was not only is it a coveted job, it's a job that not a lot of head coaches may want because of all the pressure, because of having to deal with Jerry Jones constantly breathing down your back. However, if I am Deion Sanders, there's only two places I'm leaving the NCAA for, and that's the Raiders and the Cowboys.
Agreed.
I think those are the two teams. You have history with both of them. Both owners love you to death. Both teams have a lot of opportunity to make moves. The Dallas Cowboys, just because they're the Dallas Cowboys, they would make trades like you couldn't imagine. The Raiders, because they have a lot of cap space and they have a high draft pick. Those are the only two teams I would ever move out of Colorado for. And this depends on him. Is it an absolute necessity that he would go to the NFL only if his son is with him? That's what they have to weigh, because if that's the only option, Dallas would have to make a ton of moves to make it happen.
And the only reason why I'm saying this because I saw, I think it was the first, I think it was first team meeting ever since like Shador wasn't there and Hunter wasn't there. He's saying, oh, my sons aren't here for the first time.
I've been anticipating this day. You got to understand, it's an emotional day for me. This is the first day I've been up here without two knuckleheads, but this is the first day I'm coaching without my boys, which is a pleasure and an honor for me. So now I can just be a coach. I don't have to be my dad.
So I think like the way he was talking to them, I don't see him leaving unless one, he gets paid a lot of money, and
Yep.
two, he gets a son.
Yeah, I think the money's not an issue. Both owners have it rolling to just throw around. It would be his son the problem. The Raiders at least have some more maneuverability because they have a higher draft pick, so they can actually get him. Dallas would have to make probably two trades in order to get that high in order to take Shador. So I'm sure they're having those conversations. I do not doubt it in the slightest. I can guarantee you Jerry Jones's head is swirling on how to get this done. I just think it's going to be a little bit difficult if that is the one stipulation for Sanders to come and coach the Cowboys.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say about the Cowboys is this is what made me happy is that about the situation is that Micah Parsons wasn't happy. Has he openly said on his podcast that he wasn't the happiest camper about
Yeah.
McCarthy getting fired?
It is devastating. Coach Mike's a great father, coach, one of the most winningest coaches. And, he's always been good to us as a unit, us to coaches, players. So, losing a great coach like Mike hurts.
It might,
Look, he, he probably liked McCarthy only because he gave him free reign
yeah.
on the defensive side of the ball. Like, Parsons is a very good talent. Nobody's denying that. But for his size and stature, he should be at linebacker. He just hasn't. And I'm almost 100% certain McCarthy gave him the complete free range to be that defensive end that he always has been. Look, he's going into a contract situation this year anyway. So if he doesn't like, he's going to get offers from all the teams unless the Cowboys franchise tag him, which I mean, I think they'd be stupid not to. But we'll see how things play out there.
I hope he doesn't get franchise tagged and he leaves and then Dallas suffers because fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna move on from this topic. Move on from.